Nvidia is responding to AMD's release of the 7900 XTX, and they're really flooding the market with RTX 4080s. Is it a bad deal at $1199? A lot of people thought so, but it's actually cheaper now. Look how many people just yesterday, I posted a code on Best Buy that they're running actually, that it gives you a 10% discount plus Best Buy points. That's only if you use like the Best Buy credit card. I have like no affiliation with them whatsoever. I get nothing from this except people getting a discount. It also works on other GPUs, so I'm just using the 4080 as an example. Dude, you are the man. The code worked. 1144 total. Subscribe. You should subscribe as well. Help us reach 50,000 subscribers before the end of the year if you like GPU content like this. It's kind of like a 1-2 combination. You get the discount and it's actually in stock. Here, let's take a look at some people that got it yesterday. I was surprised how many people bought it, and we're going to talk about the rationale. Is this GPU worth it if it's like $1,079? What does AMD look like with the XTX at $999, which is harder to find than the 4080? And most of the AIB GPUs that are 7900 XTX, they're all going to be around $1,100. So in some cases, you may actually be paying more for an XTX than the 4080. So even though this isn't like an official coupon code from Nvidia, Best Buy is Nvidia's biggest partner when it comes to GPU sales because they sell only the Founders Edition exclusively, of course with other AIB models, but they're the only ones that sell the Founders Edition, which of course has a really cool and different design, and it's going to be the cheapest MSRP. And of course, I also looked around and these GPUs are in stock in various places. So when I say the GPUs are getting flooded onto the market, it's true. You can go onto Newegg and you see 4080s in stock. Best Buy had them in stock all day yesterday, still today when I checked. And let's read some of what the viewers bought. For example, here, look at this guy. He says the code worked. Thanks, man. And remember, you do need the Best Buy credit card. That's like one of the things for this code to actually work. Some people who had it not work were trying to use something else. That's just something that Best Buy does. He says, I know it's still expensive. It's still $1,080, but I have a VR desktop and this is the card I've been waiting years for, so it was time to get it. This is actually the sentiment of a lot of people. They want a 4080, they just didn't really like the price. So dropping a little bit, and we never see GPUs discounted that are just freshly released. It's not really typical, at least not the last 2 years. Dropping to $1,079 plus whatever Best Buy points you may get actually makes it not a bad deal for a lot of people. Even though I've said it myself, at $1,200, it's obvious the 4080 went up in price way too much, but what are we going to do about it? You can't just say nobody buy GPUs. People are going to do it or not according to their own needs and use case. If people don't buy them and they truly shows, and this really shows Nvidia at the retail level that people aren't buying, they'll have to adjust the prices anyway, so really wouldn't worry about it. People aren't going to get any other GPU that are new much cheaper. I mean, look at the example of AMD 7900 XTX. The launch hasn't really gone perfectly smooth, given the perfect opening for Nvidia to sell more 4080s, which it's had trouble selling. It stayed in stock for a while, and recently after the launch of the XTX, when people saw that maybe it wasn't the GPU for them, a lot more people started coming over to the Nvidia 4080 side. And especially now, if you get a little bit of a discount and it's close in price to an XTX and actually available, some people, it makes sense, they're just going to take the plunge. I mean, what else are you going to get that performs like this? The 4070 Ti will most likely be $899. It's not going to be anywhere near the performance of this 4080. The 7900 XT is $899, and it's not performing anywhere near this GPU once again. The AMD XTX, that's the only GPU with this type of performance, but first, it's newly released. The drivers aren't really as stable as we'd like, with some bugs here and there, and it's pretty hard to find. You can't find an XTX as easily as you can a 4080. So they're right around the same price now with this discount. It's no longer like a $200 difference when you're looking at a 1080 when you're looking at $1,079 for a 4080. It definitely changes the math for some people. And while no, it's not the $700 of the 3080 that we wish it was, let's be realistic. We really didn't even buy the 3080 at $700. Very difficult to actually find that when it was released. For most of its life, and even when it was refreshed as the 12 gigabyte 3080, this GPU was over $1,000 easily. So having a 4080 around $1,079 is really nothing new. And if you compare it to everything else, if you get a 4090 and you can find one and it fits in your budget, just go for that. There's no compromises, but not everybody wants to spend $1,600 plus dollars. And I think that coupon code also works on 4090s, by the way. So some people don't even really want to spend $1,080, but unfortunately, that's where the high range of GPUs are landing right now. And unless you get a last generation like 6900 XT or a 3090 or 3090 Ti, you're not going to get any GPU near this price. And those, most likely, you're going to have to find them used, and they may be a few $100s cheaper, but the 4080 does have a few benefits going for it, like DLSS 3.0 is pretty impressive. Ray tracing is going to be second only to the 4090, and it's fairly power efficient, so it does definitely have some advantages. Its biggest problem has always been the price, and even though not everybody likes the price at 10% off, it's definitely something and brings it more in line with what people are willing to pay. It definitely moves some people over that edge. And I have to say, I kind of don't blame them. What other GPU experience are you going to get for that price? Really, there's nothing coming out soon. AMD's GPUs are not as available and some people don't like them. So really, the 4080 has to go down more in price because that's the GPU that more people would like to buy, as shown by all these people. Let's take a look at what other people have also bought. Look at this next comment here. He said, FOMO got to me, damn it. Picked up a PNY 4080 OC for $1,229. See, now this is going to be a little bit more expensive AIB model, but he also got the discount, so it's cheaper than it otherwise would have been. So here's somebody else. I got this by accident today since I had Honey installed. It works with all GPUs on Best Buy right now. He tested it with a 7900 XT, probably the 4090 also. And you can also stack it with the rewards on the cashback website. All right, that's pretty interesting. Somebody else confirms that it worked with a 4090 gigabyte OC. So I know this is getting a lot of publicity. Let's see if they're going to cut this code off or not. It's funny when people post that it doesn't work, but remember, you do need to use the Best Buy credit card. Here's somebody else. Verified the promo still works. Got my card ordered. Came out to $1,165 with the tax. Thank you a lot for this tip. I mean, if you're going to buy a 4080, that's a pretty nice savings. Somebody else here, Victor, said, Tiago, you're the man. Code worked like a charm. $1079 for a 4080. I'll take it. See, and then somebody else posted, thanks. It initially didn't work for him, but as other people have said, you have to use the Best Buy credit card. Then he also said something interesting here. I don't think the price of the 4080 is that much out of alignment with the current GPU prices, as these content creators are claiming. They're all overpriced. For instance, Nvidia currently has the 3090 Ti available for $1,099. We just got the 4080 $20 cheaper with this coupon code. That's actually very true, and what I just said before. You can't really find that much else that performs like this for this price. Yes, GPUs are overpriced, but at least here you're paying a little bit under what you should have been paying, so it's definitely a little bit of a plus. Then somebody else got one with the code, plus there was 10% back in points as well. Thanks for the heads up. I just used this deal and it worked. ETA to pick up date, and then he said at his local Best Buy, thanks for saving me $250 over the one I bought at Micro Center. MSI for $1329 shall be returned. $250. Now that's pretty impressive savings, and if he got a Founders Edition, that means that he's going to have one of the best 4080s anyway. So $250, you can get like a CPU for that. Very impressive. Then somebody else said, dude, you're the best. I just applied with the Best Buy credit card. It worked. He got the $20 in rewards. He's going to get $55 cash back for this 4080. Then he said he's going to return the other one that he got for more. Remember, people still have like Best Buy reward points that they can use here. So theoretically, for some people, this may end up actually being cheaper than that 1079 or whatever GPU they buy, because there's going to be rewards points they can apply to it if they've had it from different purchases. A lot of people shop at Best Buy. That's why this was actually kind of interesting. They have them everywhere in the country, and I know people don't have Newegg's near them, but Best Buy is often going to be in more populated areas, so it definitely has a much bigger reach when you're talking about GPU purchases. Overall, as you can see, people definitely were sort of on the fence about the price of the 4080. Yes, it's too expensive. It went up a lot over the 3080 that we never really got at that cheaper price anyway. GPUs are overpriced, but hey, people are going to buy them anyway, and there's just not that much else available that's fair for that price. If we had a really good GPU at like $600 or $700, you could say, you know what, forget the 4080, nobody's going to buy it. But really, the 4080 has some benefits that's going to beat last generation's top GPUs. If you compare a 4080 to like a 3090, there are a lot of benefits on the 4080 side. Typically, thermally, it's going to be a little bit better. It's going to run faster on average across many games. It's going to have better ray tracing. It's going to have DLSS 3.0 if your particular game supports it, like Flight Simulator. That may be very important for some people. For content creators, it has a big advantage over last generation, depending on what the use case will be. Maybe in 3D, maybe in Blender, you could definitely have a pretty significant advantage there. And as it gets closer to like 1,079, which is around the same price that the 3090 was just selling for, the 3090 Ti rather, it's really not as bad as a deal as maybe we would like to believe. So I know people don't like Nvidia for their pricing, but either you don't buy it or you buy it a little bit cheaper. So that's really going to be where it ends up. All right, guys, so let me know if you actually jumped on this and you bought that GPU. Remember to subscribe, smash that like button, and I'll see you guys on the next video.